I spent 20 years making sure my daughter stayed away from trouble. So when she pulled into the driveway with a guy named Jax, who was 6'4", covered in tattoos, and riding a Harley that shook my windows, I figured my worst nightmare had arrived. At dinner, the guy barely spoke. He just sat there in a leather vest, looking like he'd been in a dozen bar fights. I didn't care how polite he was being. All I saw was the ink on his neck and the scars on his knuckles. I barely looked at him, and I definitely didn't pass him the salt. After dinner, my daughter went to get dessert, and Jax noticed a small wooden music box sitting on the mantel. It was my late mother's, the only thing I had left of her, but it hadn't played a note in 10 years. I'd taken it to 3 different shops, and they all said it was unfixable. I snapped at him. "Don't touch that, it's fragile." Jax didn't flinch. He just looked at it with these surprisingly gentle eyes and said, "My dad used to restore antique watches. Mind if I take a look?" He pulled a tiny toolkit out of his vest, not for bikes, but for precision work. While we waited for coffee, those tough hands worked with the delicacy of a surgeon. Suddenly, the room went quiet as the faint tinkling sound of "You Are My Sunshine" started playing. I hadn't heard that melody since I was a kid. I looked at Jax, and he just gave me a small, respectful nod and pushed the box back toward me. I realized right then that you can't judge a man by the roar of his engine. He isn't trouble, he's a craftsman. Now, every Sunday, Jax brings his bike over, and we spend the afternoon in the garage fixing whatever's broken. He's the best thing that ever happened to this family.